Welcome back, guys. Jake here at J&J West Wing. Just going to get on here and do a short video of a request that I had. I had some people that were wanting to change some slots in some projects that they had on boxes that they had made on websites, but they wanted to change the size of the material that they were using. So I thought I'd get in here and do a video and demonstrate how to do that. It's built into LIGHTBURN. So if that's something you're interested in figuring out what to do with that, so you can use different thickness of wood, stick around. We'll be right back in a minute and jump right into it. All right, guys, here we are back here in LIGHTBURN. So I had a customer that, or a friend that actually reached out and was doing some boxes that they had downloaded from the BoxPie website to do, but they wanted to change the thickness. They originally made them out of 3mm. They got a bigger laser, and now they're using 5mm. So they wanted to be able to change that without having to go back and make all those. So I thought I'd jump in here and show a short video of how to change those over. So I'll go over here and grab one of my boxes here. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, there's a rubber glove one. There we go. So we've got this. I make these rubber gloves, box holders to throw up on the wall. Makes it kind of nice to be able to just walk over and grab a glove out of the wall here. So, but these slots here, what they're talking about, you change from a 3mm to a 6mm. This depth changes in this, and it also changes in this. So you got to be able to change those. Yeah, you could manually go through and change each and every one of these if you want to. So if you highlight the entire screen and then you go up here to tools, down here to resize slots. I'm going to resize the slots in selection. So if you watch here, let me get back up here. We need to find out what size these slots are. So you say you're using a 3mm or a 5mm, and it typically would be right, but on those box websites, you have the option to put your kerf in. So I need to figure out what my measurement is. So if I go there, you can see I can flip around and it'll change the location of the pink line there. So we want to know this dimension. So, whoops, really click on there. Okay, it's not gonna let me move the mouse over, but let me slide this over here. So if I go here, you can see that top right segment length is 4.92. So that's my typical dimension. So when you do this, you just highlight the entire page here. And then you go up here to the selection of tools. Oops, I'm sorry, tools. Go down to resize slots in selection. So we've got the entire screen selected. We're going to change the slots. However, it's only going to change the ones that I want it to change. So my old dimension we just figured out was 4.92. That's what my dimension was. But I want to go to a 3mm. And then the tolerance is 0.1mm. So that's fine. But you see there's nothing really highlighted on this page. So you got to figure out which ones that you're going to highlight. I think I forgot to ungroup all this. Let me ungroup this. And then we'll go back and do that same process. Go to tools, go to resize. Okay, now let me get this back up so you can see it here. So if you go to tools, resize, now you see we have the different, the red slots on every one of these. Every one on the page is done, except for these down here. You notice these slots down here are not done. And that's because these slots have a different location. If you go to your slot width, it changes. See, it took all the reds off of here. I'll flip it back there. See, all the reds are there. If you go to the slot width, they're gone. If you go to the tab height, which this is the tab insert here, that's the, now we've got those. But we've got to figure out what those dimensions are and what we want them to be. So we're going to go back to the slot depth, which is these here. I'm going to change those from the 4.92 9.2, we want to go to a 3. So if you watch those, as soon as I click apply, they're going to change. We've now officially changed all of those slots to a 3mm wood dimension, so that you can have your 3mm wood. Just click OK, you're done. Now we have to go through the same process to figure out what the height of these are. Click on your ruler over here, slide that over there out of the way, and we want to know what the height of those are, because we're going to do a different thickness of wood. We're going from a 5mm to a 3mm. So this actually measures 4.84. So we want to take that measurement, go back to the tool, go to resize slots. Now we want to change 4.84 to a 3. And you see it's not lighting them up. So it's not you got to change these to coincide with what you're changing. And those are actually tab heights. So we want to change this here. So now we're going to change that to a 3. Click apply. Those are officially changed now. It's that easy, guys. We just changed that whole pattern from a 5mm plywood usage back to a 3mm. And you can do that for any size wood that you want to change all those. It's that easy to do that. And then I recommend going back, group it, and now you're done. What I usually do is I take this, now that I've got it set to a 3mm, and I'll save it up here as a template, right here, save as a template. And I can name this 3mm rubber glove box, which I've already got it saved that way, so I'm not going to do it again. But you can save that as a 3mm glove box, and then you can have the 5mm and the 3mm, and you don't have to keep going back and forth. This design will not change in templates unless you save another project the exact same wording that you saved this within the template. That's an easy way to keep those, and it'll also keep your settings up here as well. These settings up here that you save as a template will stay there unless you manually change it again and save it as the exact same thing. So that's a great way to keep those. The reason I thought about this video, I had a friend of mine, Jack, in Maryland, reached out to me and was wanting a easel that I had printed on 3D printer. Let me find my templates here. What am I doing here? Open my templates. There we go. Back to LIGHTBURN. Go to my templates. And then we're going to go to. I'm not even sure where I found it at, or where I saved it at. I thought I saved it in my templates. Let's see what we do through a reset. There it is. So this is the project that I did for Jack up in Maryland. These are a 3D printed file that I did, and I converted them over to a SVG, saved it as a template, and I sent it to him. But same thing, he wanted these to fit as a 3mm. They were a 5mm, so I just came in here and I switched it over to a line, which line for design, same process. Ungroup it and select the project. Go up here, select the slots that you want to change. We want the slot width. I believe in this. Let me see here. For some reason, it's not highlighting those. Let's see here. Let's try that again. Let's see here. Yeah, so that's 3.19. 3.19, and we want to go, we'll just do it to a 3. Not sure why it's not changing there. Now, you get the picture though. I'll have to play with this later and see why it's not doing that. But that's why I changed these. They were a 5mm from where I print these 3D, and These I make these on my 3D printer to hold my slate tiles that I create. I do memorial tiles, so these are a little heavier duty to hold those. Jack was just doing some 3mm plywood pictures, and he just wanted to be able to display them. So I created that for him, sent them, and then I got thinking about it. Somebody had reached out to me a while back and asked about the boxes, so I thought I would jump on here and do a quick video and show you how that works. So this is something that helps you guys out. Like and subscribe to this video. I'm going to continue to try to make some of these here and help people out with this kind of stuff. So we'll say 73s for now, guys. Catch up with you later. As we always say at J&J West Wing, we're always on the air.